Hello and welcome to today's book club session on equilibrium, spirituality for everyday people. My name's Jo, I'm the author of the book, if this is your first book club session that you're joining in on. So this is the book we've been discussing for the last couple of weeks. This is a book I published myself late last year and it's available in all good bookstores and online platforms. So if you want to check it out, please do so. It's all about helping people get into their own spiritual journey, and it's like a guidebook, I guess, giving you some different tips and tricks on how you can boost your own spiritual journey. It also discusses my journey and how I got to where I am now as an energy healer. So today's session we are talking about chapters 8, 9 and 10. So hopefully you've read those chapters in the last week so you know what we're talking about. But if not, it doesn't matter if you haven't read the chapters. You can catch up another time. It's just sit back and enjoy, listen to what we're talking about. Hi Steph. Thanks for joining. Okay, so I will get straight into it. Chapter 8, Love. This is one of my favourite chapters in the book. I'm just a little bit obsessed with love and being love and sharing the love and receiving love. It's everything to me. Hi Cassie, how you going? Hope everyone's keeping warm. It's very fresh outside today. So chapter 8 is love, and in chapter 8 we talk about loving ourselves first and foremost, because when we love ourselves we are more able to love other people and share our love with the world and have a bigger impact in the world around us. So it's really important to love yourself first. And I know I talked through some exercises in chapter 8 about how you can work on your own self-love. There was a couple of little exercises in there for you to work on. So I don't know if any of you have taken the time to give these exercises a try. You know, it's funny, I was reading these 3 chapters. So this book club session was meant to be yesterday, and it totally snuck up on me. It got to 9:30 yesterday morning, and my reminder popped up, and I went, oh, okay, I'm not ready. I haven't refreshed myself on the chapters because it's been so long since I've read the book now. So I postponed it to today. So yesterday, it was beautiful and sunny in the middle of the day. I made myself a cup of tea. I grabbed my book, and I went and sat outside on my deck in the sun and I read the 3 chapters. And I tell you what, it was just beautiful. Sitting in the sun, I could hear the birds chirping all around me. It was just gorgeous. And I had a bit of a smile to myself because I kind of realised here I am reading this book again and I'm still benefiting from it. Just the act of taking half an hour out of my day to just get outside, sit in the sun and read those chapters with my beautiful hot sweet cup of tea, that's self-love. I was showing myself love in effect, and I have been quite busy and distracted in the last couple of weeks, so I haven't been doing much of that for myself. And yesterday, sitting down reading those couple of chapters for me was just such a beautiful reminder of how important it is that we do take those moments for ourselves when we can, as often as we can. You know, if you're feeling really run down, if you're feeling stressed, if you're feeling very flat and down, one of the quickest ways you can help yourself and start to feel like there's a shift happening is to show yourself love in however that looks for you. So I thought that was an interesting little moment for me yesterday. So I thought we'd start with a bit of a love meditation. Now I did put a post up a few minutes ago asking you to have a notepad and a pen handy, or a piece of paper and a pen handy, because I thought we might do a bit of an exercise in this session as we go. If you haven't got something handy, don't worry. It doesn't matter. You can just think about it in your head, what you want to express. So I thought we'd open with a bit of a love meditation, and it's only going to be a short one. I want to set the intention that through this book club session and through this meditation that we're starting with, we are all connecting to our own love. We are expressing our love for ourselves. We're deepening our love for ourselves. So it's a bit of a self-love meditation. So I want you to close your eyes and just take a minute. I want you to feel your body starting to relax. So if you close your eyes and you feel like your body's all tense and tight and you can feel your muscles all holding on, just consciously relax your body. And it doesn't have to be a really deep, full relaxation as if you were going to do a big, hour-long meditation. If you can just fractionally relax your body and the muscles in your body a little bit more than what they were, then that's enough. And so take a nice big deep breath in and hold, and then exhale. And through that exhale, you will likely feel your body relax even more. Now I want you to imagine in your mind's eye that inside your chest there's a light, and your light can be any colour, it can be any shape, it can be any form. I just want you to, and if you're not a visual person, that's okay. See if you can sense the light. And if you can't sense it, just tell yourself there is a light inside my chest and I'm connecting with it. And trust that. And now I want you to muster up as much love and compassion and kindness as you can possibly muster. If it helps you to think of a loved one or a place that you feel connected to, if that helps you to think of something like that, then do it. Think of a place, think of a person, feel that love you have for them. Really feel it. And I want you to project all of that straight into that light that's inside your chest. My dogs are about to bark, sorry. Maybe not. So we're projecting all of that love energy into that light that's inside your chest. And so what we've done now is I can see or sense a circuit. There's a circuit of love energy, and it's coming from your head down through your chest and your heart, back up through your head again, and it's got this beautiful circular circuitry motion. So we're going to stay with that for a minute and give it some momentum. You might even feel your physical body responding as you do this, and this is something you can do anytime, whenever you need it. That circuit of love moving, give it strength, give it some substance. Breathe and relax. So I can feel a bit of emotion. So this is the thing with self-love, is it can be emotional. It's like if your partner or your child or someone who you hold very dear, and when they have thoughts about you, when they're expressing those thoughts or those feelings, or they're showing you with an action, or they're just connecting with you with that love energy, it makes you feel emotional. It's a big deal to feel that love and receive that love. Same thing when you're giving that love to yourself. This is what's happening. So this self-love that you're circulating through your system It's triggering that emotional response. So if you feel like crying right now, I want you to cry. Don't let it choke up in your throat. Don't hold it back. You're giving yourself permission to love yourself. And that's a very special thing. So whenever you feel ready, you can open your eyes, or you can sit there with your eyes shut for the whole session. Totally up to you. There's no rules. Okay, so what I want you to do now is in this moment, now that you've got that strong connection, I want you to type in the comments for me one thing that you really love about yourself. It could be a personality trait or a character trait. It could be something physical. It could be something energetic, anything at all. And I want you to not think about it. I want you to just hit the keyboard or hit your phone and type in what it is that you, just one thing that you love about yourself. Don't overthink it. You might type something and look at it later and go, I don't even know what that means, or why would I type that? There's a reason for everything. This is why I don't want you to overthink it. Beautiful. Well done, ladies. So Cassie says she loves that she's kind, and Steph says she's giving. And that's perfect. That is beautiful. And so you're starting to love yourself a little bit more. And this is what I talk about in the book. And so if you haven't done this yet, if you've read the book and read this chapter on love and gone, oh, yeah, that was really nice, you haven't actually done the exercise in it, I want you to do the exercises. It's not like I'm setting you homework. It's not like it's going to be an extra chore that's going to add to your burden of what you've already got to do in your day or your week. This is for you. This is to benefit you. And you have to prioritize that. So I hope that this is going to inspire you to kickstart that little journey of, venturing into loving yourself a little bit more. If you're watching this on replay, if you're not here live and you're watching it on replay, I still want you to pop in the comments wherever you're watching this, because once I've filmed this, it goes on my Instagram page, it goes on my author Facebook page, and it also goes on my YouTube channel. And so no matter where you're watching this right now, I want you to join in. I want you to pop in the comments what you love about yourself. So I want you to keep adding to that. So if you've got your notepad and pen next to you, if you've got other things coming through, write it down, start your self-love list, and then focus on it. Play it back, say it to yourself over and over, and let that self-love list grow and see where it takes you. So the joy list is another awesome exercise in this book. And this is another reason why I wanted you to have a notepad and a pen with you, is because I want you to, if you haven't already, I want you to start your joy list. I want you to think of something that you used to do years and years ago when you're a child or when you're a teenager, or, before you have kids, if you had kids. Just think of something that you remember now that used to give you heaps of joy, something that you'd love to do, but for whatever reason you haven't thought about it for a long time, you haven't done it for a long time. And I want you to write that on your notepad. I want you to write that down. And this is going to be your joy list. And you're going to add to it. You're going to think of all the things that you do now, things that you used to do years ago, things that you've always wanted to do, but you've never had the time. It doesn't matter if you get to be doing these things, but I want you to acknowledge them. I want you to write them down. And who knows, you might be inspired to start working your way through the joy list and doing the activities and the things on the list, and that's even better. But right now, just acknowledging them is enough. You're going to think of things, something's going to pop into your head later today that you'd forgotten about, that you used to do, that you loved and haven't done for a long time. And it's going to give you all the good feels. So start on your joy list as well. It's really, really going to help you. So for me, how am I practicing self-love now? I'm taking a break. I am a self-confessed workaholic. Even when my work is enjoyable and my work is helping other people, I can't not work. I have trouble switching off. I have trouble, um, not replying to messages straight away, and saying no to people when they want a session with me. When I know that I'm already fully booked, I'll bend over backwards to squeeze them in. I can't help myself. It's just the way I am. And so the way I'm practicing self-love for me right now is I'm having a break, and it's a big break. Like, I don't know that I've gone this long without, actively working before. And I can feel my body resetting. I can feel my mind resetting. And that's not roses. Oh, that's not all sunshine and rainbows either, by the way. Self-love can present itself, when you're giving yourself self-love, that can trigger some healing moments for you. And so for me, for example, I'm taking a break and I can feel myself healing and restoring just from hitting pause on my everyday life for a little while. But I tell you what, it's making me realize that I've got some little underlying things still happening in my body that I need to address and that I haven't addressed for a long time. I've always suffered from anxiety, and I felt like I had overcome that, I guess, in the last couple of years, because I'm so busy and I'm happy and life's amazing, and my family's amazing, and it's all really, really good. Financially I'm very secure. It's all wonderful. But now that I've taken this time to practice self-love through stopping and pausing and taking a break, I can feel that anxiety still there. And I'll tell you what, for the last week, I've just been crying. Everything makes me cry. I feel this in my throat. A song comes on the radio, and I always cry when songs come on the radio, but it's usually I well up a little bit. But this week, I've been full on crying at the drop of a hat, and I can feel that anxiety still choking me a little bit. And so and I wouldn't have been able to acknowledge this and recognize this if I hadn't practiced self-love and said, right, well, I'm going to take a break. I'm going to give myself this time. So giving yourself self-love isn't always easy. It's not always smooth sailing. It's going to bring up stuff. It's going to bring up moments for you where you can sit with some yucky stuff that you might not necessarily like and makes you feel uncomfortable. So this is how I'm practicing self-love right now. So how are you practicing self-love? This is what I want to to ask you today is, how are you practicing self-love? If you can't think of something, one little thing that you're doing in your day that is just for you and that is self-love, then you really, really, really need to sit down and figure something out, figure out what you're going to do for yourself. You will feel so much better for it. So then I want to talk about, where are we going to go now? So ego, the next chapter is ego. It was an interesting chapter to write. A lot of what I wrote in the ego chapter was channeled. A lot of that isn't my words. And it was interesting yesterday as I was reading back over the ego chapter, I was like, some things I couldn't even remember saying or typing or writing. So it was really nice for me to read those words again, because I knew they were words from spirit, not from me. So my ego has been on overdrive this week. I have felt the need to fix everything and everyone. And I think that is triggering a bit of my anxiety as well. So I know that my ego is on overdrive, and acknowledging it is often the hardest part. But then it's taming it back down again. And again, if you feel like your ego's been triggered and it's sort of taking over a little bit, the quickest and best way you can bring it back into check is to do some self-love activities, or to show someone else love, or do something else like that is from the heart, because that will help to balance it out. That's easier said than done sometimes, and as I said, this week's been a roller coaster for me. My ego's just been taking over I'm just trying to go with it, and I'm accepting that this is part of my, healing journey, and what I'm meant to be doing right now is to just move through it as best I can. But yeah, it hasn't been easy. So ego will, your ego and your soul self will, it's a constant balancing act. It's a constant juggling act. And you can be the kindest, most compassionate, most beautiful person in the world. You are still going to have egotistical thoughts, feelings, and sometimes those thoughts and feelings they're not a conscious thought or a feeling. It's almost like an instinctual thought or a feeling. And you'll catch yourself having this thought of, you've judged someone else, or it could be anything that makes you stop afterwards and go, oh shit, did I actually just think that? Like, I can't believe I just thought that. I do it. I've done it all the time. But I think the difference is if you can catch yourself and acknowledge it and let it go. That's the difference. There's people have got big egos, and they let it overtake them, and then they act on these feelings and their thoughts, and they speak, from a place of ego. That's, I think, when the damage can really be done. So, if you're having little secret thoughts that you're not very proud of, it's okay. We all do it. We all have it. It's a balancing act. So just give yourself a break, cut yourself some slack. So the next chapter that I want to talk about is chapter 10, which is, what is it called? Lifestyle Balances, Choices and Change. This is another interesting one. So I'm going to tell you the story. If you've read the chapter, there's a story in here called Belinda's story. And I say that this is based on the true story of someone who's very dear to me. And I just want to share with you a bit more on that. So in Belinda's story, it's a woman who gets a job as a retail assistant at a popular clothing chain store, if that jogs your memory. That story was very, very closely based on my husband's experience. He had a job and he loved it, he was good at it, but he started to really dislike it. And it was his dream job, and he actually did say that in his interview. But then it started to become a burden. It started to become hard work for him, and he started to get, grumpy, and he was becoming unwell. But he had he's got some very, very, very close friends who are still his best friends now, who he met through that job. And he's always wanted to work for himself. He's always wanted to be his own boss, but he's always been too scared to take that leap. And so this story, Belinda's story, was about my husband. He was working for someone else, and they were a good employer. It was a good job, but he, for whatever reason, wasn't loving it anymore, even though he thought it was his dream job. And it took a lot of time and a lot of love and a lot of gentle encouragement, and for him a lot of soul searching to be confident and comfortable enough to say, do you know what, I'm going to leave this job and I'm going to start my own business. And it was a massive leap. We've got kids, we've got bills to pay, we've got responsibilities. So for him to just leave his job and trust that doing his own work was going to be profitable, and he was going to be busy, and he was going to actually enjoy it. It was huge. But he knew that's what he needed to do, so he did. And his business took off, and he's still working for himself, and he loves it. He's his own boss. He can work when he wants. He still has his friends from his old job, and they still see each other all the time and talk all the time. And he's a different person. Honestly, truly, if I think back to the husband I had when he was working before to the husband I've got now, different person. He's happier. He doesn't get as grumpy as often. He doesn't get as tired as often. He's just a different person. So that is who that story was about. So I just wanted to share that little insider tidbit with you. I'm, speaking of lifestyle balance, I'm in the midst of creating or restoring the balance in my life as well. As I said, I'm having a break, I'm working things out, and again, I'm being in that limbo feels very strange, a little bit scary, a little bit uncomfortable because I don't really know what's coming next. I know I'm not going back to doing exactly what I was doing before I took my break, but at the same time, I don't quite know how it's going to look. So I'm in the process myself of working through, balancing my life. So the fact that I read these 3 chapters right now when I'm going through all this myself at this point in my life was very, very appropriate and very revealing, I think. I got a lot out of the chapters reading them again now at this point in my life. So, with lifestyle balance, we get these stepping stones. It could be a job, it could be a friend, it could be some sort of relationship or connection. I like to think of them as stepping stones, but a lot of people, myself included, get so attached to these little stepping stones that you get stuck and you end up staying in the one spot, doing the one thing, when sometimes what we need to do is we need to be more fluid and we need to be more open to change and willing to let go of things and willing to be open to new things. We're all creatures of habit. It's hard to trust in something that you can't yet see or feel or can't quite wrap your head around. So I want you to try and think of your life and the opportunities that come in your life and the people that come in your life as stepping stones. Some are going to be permanent, a lot are going to be permanent, but a lot of them, most of them, I think, it's like a temporary little step to get you just to keep going, to move on to something else, someone else, somewhere else. So I find that little analogy, for me personally, a really good way of just keeping myself in check and reminding myself that I need to stay open. Positive affirmations, I wanted to talk about too because I mentioned that in these chapters. So Cassie, also Steph says she does that too. Was that the little negative thoughts in the head, Steph? I think that's when you typed that. Yeah, we all do it. I don't care how saintly and perfect and wholesome you are. Everyone does it. And Cassie's saying she can relate to the need for a break. She was a workaholic, haven't worked for 12 months. Yeah, so, and Cassie, I'm assuming you're feeling better for it and enjoying the break. It's a big deal to put yourself first. It's a massive deal. So well done. So I want to talk about positive affirmations because I mentioned them quite a bit in those I can't remember exactly which of those chapters, but it was in there somewhere. If you're having trouble finding positive affirmations or you feel like you could use some more in your life, I don't know if you've seen these little packs of cards. You can buy. I got this from a florist. I've seen them in lots of florists actually. It's a little bundle and it comes with a little stand. And I've got about 3 of these scattered around the house. And what I like to do, on every card is like a different quote or positive affirmation. And they have beautiful pictures, beautiful artwork on them. So this is an animal one. I bought this one for my son because he's obsessed with animals. And I thought he might like to have these, and every now and then he will shuffle them and pick one, or we all have a go at picking them. So just to have something like that, and I just sit it on my bench. It's sitting on my kitchen bench. And half the time I forget it's there, but every now and then, and I'm sure it's probably when I do need it, it'll catch my eye and I'll look at the quote and go, oh. And, if you do that often enough, these beautiful little, subtle little seeds that are being planted, if you have some positive stuff and some positive affirmations in sort of in your eyesight, write one out and stick it on your fridge. Save one as a, find something nice that you like on the internet, a positive affirmation, and stick it on your phone, like as your background for your phone, so that you're reading it and you're looking at it and you're connecting with it every time you turn your phone on. I just think positive affirmations, again, are a really quick, easy, beautiful way to give you a little boost, give you a little pep talk. So I thought I might, I do this with all my cards. I've got oracle cards, I've got these cards, I've got different cards, and I just like to shuffle them and just intuitively pick one. And then I know that that's the message that I need. So you can do this with any cards that you've got. So let's pick a positive affirmation for us here today for this session. What do we need to hear? And so when I'm doing this, I'm shuffling the cards, but I'm not really, I'm not playing poker, I'm not playing blackjack, so they don't need to be very, very thoroughly shuffled. You're more just moving them. So you're touching them and you're moving them and you're playing with them. So you don't necessarily have to very, very thoroughly shuffle them. You're holding them, you're handling them, you're moving them. And as you do that, you're putting your intention into the cards. What do you want? What do you need from the cards? Do you have a specific question? Hold on to that question. If you're open to just receiving some general, nice, beautiful guidance for the day or the week or the month, then hold that as your intention. Hold that in your thoughts as you play with the cards. So there's different ways. You can pick a card. Oops, I dropped. So usually if one flies out like that and it's one card, that's usually the card that, see, look, I'm about to drop them all. That's usually the card that that I need right now. But there was about 4 that dropped out then, so that's just me being clumsy. So I'm setting the intention, I'm feeling into it. What's going to be something that's going to make us feel good? There we go. So one card has just flown across the floor and landed over the other side there. That's our card. If that hadn't happened, I either grab the one off the top or I cut the deck. So I literally just pull the deck in half and then just decide which deck I'm going with and pull the one off the top. Or I fan them out. I can't see that very well. I'll fan them out on the floor or on the table and then just move my hand over, and I can feel if one's grabbed your attention, one's grabbed your eye, you pull that one out. There's no rules to this. You just grab whatever card and get it in whatever way you feel is good for you. So I'm just going to go and grab this one. Oh, okay. I can relate to this. Sleep is the best meditation. And look, is that a little panda? Is that a red panda? Sleep is the best meditation. Are we tired? Are we pushing ourselves a little bit too hard? Are we trying too hard with our meditation practice? Do we feel like we're pushing ourselves to meditate properly and it's not working for whatever reason? Different people are going to get different message from that, and that's a given with every card that I pull. When it's for multiple people, you will get a different message from it. It might not be the words that you get a message from or a feeling from. It might be the picture. It might be the image. So how calm and chill does he look? And that makes me feel calm and chill. So there you go. That's a little positive affirmation for us for today. Sleep is the best meditation. So I'll sit that now on my bench I'll sit it in the stand on my bench, and I will come back to that positive affirmation, those positive words, and that beautiful message. So there you go. I thought that would be a nice way to end today's session. Thank you for joining me, especially to the ladies that joined me live. I really appreciate it. It's nice to interact a little bit when I do these things. So thank you so much. I hope you have a beautiful day here in Tassie, or in Launceston, I guess. It's a long weekend. I don't even know if it's a long weekend everywhere else. That's how much I have my blinkers on. So enjoy the long weekend. Take extra good care of yourselves. Keep working on those joy lists. Keep working on the self-love lists. And I'll see you for next session next week. Take care. Bye.